All right, let's get this show on the road. What is going on there, people? Monster Man Vapes back again. Dysfunctional Family Sunday Show, folks. As always, I got my good friend Spike on the panel. What's going on, Spike? How you doing, brother?
Not bad, not bad.
So we got TKAT coming in later. We may have a few more people. I did extend the invitation to a bunch of people. They may come in, they may not. I know TKAT's coming on here later. She just has to pick up her daughter, so she'll be on in a little bit. The beer's already starting to hit me. But right off the bat, as always, let's go off with what we are vaping on and what we are drinking. So Spike, you go first, bud.
This week I actually have a bit of a different hardware buffet. Well, juice too. I joined Captain with the original OBS engine Nano. I've been really liking that. In there I have the last little bit of my Jacko Latte, the pumpkin spice latte from Great Canadian Fog. I'm also vaping on Vapingjoe Gold Edition with RDA that I stumbled across, the Little Boy RDA from Masterpiece Custom Vapes. I personally never heard of it, but I'm liking it. In that, I've got, again from Great Canadian Fog, Blueberry Fried Donut in that. Also, little MTL action, my Orion Q. I've got All Day Vapor Perp thing. It's straight up grape. That's a salt nick. And yeah, that's it. That's what I've been vaping on today.
All right. Well, quite the buffet you got there.
I got more appetizers, but I'm not going to continue.
I got the Maxo 315 with the Twisted Messes Pro RDA on top. That has got some Yummy Nectar Razzle Sauce, which is a raspberry jam. Pretty good stuff. I also have the UL Checkmate mod with the Zeus X RTA on top of that. And in that, I have some Artist Liquids Peanut Butter Rocket. And then last but certainly not least, I have the Steam Crave Titan mod with the Centurion version 2 sitting on top of that. And in that, I have some Magnum Pie, which is a banana cream pie.
That sounds delicious.
It is also good. It actually tastes like banana.
Yeah, it's nice to actually come across a juice where the actual flavor of it is bang on with the description.
Right, and that's the thing I love about the peanut butter rocket too, and the razzle sauce, is that a lot of juice companies that I've tried because everyone always knew me as a guy who likes candy or fruity vapes, and that's just because 9.9 times out of 10, the fruity flavors taste exactly what the profile is.
Yeah.
Desserts to me were always kind of hit and miss. There were a bunch of dessert flavors I just could not seem to like because it had almost like a, I guess you could say like a whey protein powder taste to it.
Yeah, no, I've stumbled across, throughout my days, I've stumbled across a couple juices that, it's almost kind of gives you that taste in your mouth, almost. Yeah, I know what you mean, though.
But this Magnum Pie is really good. It actually tastes like a banana cream pie. It has a light crust flavor at the very, very end of it. So that's actually really, really good. As always, the razzle sauce is a nice, sweet, yet tart raspberry jam. That's good. And always the peanut butter rocket's good stuff.
Nice.
So, folks, the topics that we are going to be discussing today is more so just going to be about things that have come up here recently in the world of vaping news, which the three are bacteria in the cotton, heavy metals in the vapor, and for some reason someone's saying that they're putting ammonia in the liquid. First off, that's all just a bunch of heaping bullshit. Because in my opinion, it's like, well, first off, who in their right mind would put ammonia in e-liquid. That is... Bill Engvall will come out of nowhere and be like, here's your sign. Because that is just... The level of stupidity in that comment. They're putting ammonia in e-liquid. First off, does your IQ score even come close to triple digits?
Yeah, that's I gotta say I mean, I personally haven't heard that like around here or whatever, but like that's retarded. Come on.
Yeah, apparently a lady has been going around saying that. It's just like, do you not realize that if there was ammonia, and that is a, it's not even an if, it's completely false. But if they were to have put ammonia in e-liquid, we all be dead in 2 hits. I mean, that shit will kill you. Do you really think they're going to put it in e-liquid? No. It's just another fucking plot for the FDA to scare people.
Right.
And who knows? You might be saying, you say that, and before we know it, somebody's probably going to say, oh, I heard they're putting bleach in there too. Get the fuck. Ugh. There's the line over there, folks. Keep it moving. Or like the whole bacteria in the cotton thing. It's like, do they not realize that there's bacteria everywhere we are? There's bacteria in the air. There's bacteria on everything. There's bacteria on us 24/7. Here's what a lot of people don't seem to get, and this is kind of me going more toward the health science because I took a few classes in high school, and I kind of remember a few of my classes. But it's just like the human body can handle bacteria. It's just the amount of bacteria that it can handle. It's like the episode of MythBusters where they were discover like the whole saying, double dip. Like when you're at a party and there's like chips and dip. They say double dipping is the equivalent of like putting your whole mouth in the dip bowl. And they came out and said that if you double dip, there's next to no bacteria. There's maybe a few, but not much to even cause an issue. That's what I'm going off of. It's like really, you know, we are in contact with bacteria every day because there's a bunch of bacteria in the air. Our bodies can handle it. And this is probably going to gross some people out, but it's a true fact that if you use the bathroom that you brush your teeth in, there's bacteria in the air. It's on your sink. It's on your countertops. It's even on your fucking toothbrush. It's gross to hear, but it's the truth. A buddy of mine told me that a little bit ago talking to him. Which, by the way, folks, if you don't have a Zeus X RTA yet, get one. These are really good. Or like the heavy metal in vapor. Now, this is where I kind of can really debunk this because I work in a place where I am around all types of fumes, particles from metal and other. Because I work in an automotive manufacturing plant. I'm around fumes from gasoline. I'm around fumes from coolant and other types of antifreeze, motor oil, windshield washer fluid, and there are people welding around me 24/7 whenever I'm at the plant. So I'm breathing in all these fumes, and I'm fine. Anything you can put on this, Spike?
I've heard the whole, you know, oh, hey, you know, the metal's in your coils, you know, you're breathing that crap in, blah, 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 blah. I can't remember where. I've seen a video somewhere on it. I almost want to say it was Vapes that did the whole video and touched on that. Like, yeah, realistically, your coils aren't supposed to glow that hot if you're properly juiced up. And, like, it would take so much of what they claim you're breathing in to actually do something to you.
Exactly, because what's the one thing that kills most bacteria? Extreme heat.
Yep.
And our coils can get even if there's bacteria on the cotton, which that's given though, because the who knows, the place where like cotton bacon, native wicks, all the cotton companies, where they package it and process it to make it suitable for vaping. Yeah, the facility might be clean, but once you get a bag of cotton bacon or native wicks, once you open up the packaging of your cotton, it's exposed to bacteria instantly. And not only that, but the bacteria is getting killed when you. Oh, but the bacteria will get on the coils when you run the dry cotton through the coil. I'm like, yeah, but you juice it up and you hit that fire button. That coil is still getting hot enough, just hot enough to. Actually, not just hot enough. It's definitely getting hot enough to nuke all that bacteria.
Right?
If there was bacteria in the cotton, people would be getting sick. And if it was the bad bacteria that would harm people, we all would be constantly sick, but we're not. I'm going to put a little disclaimer out here. I gotten sick one time in vaping, but that's not due to the bacteria. That was me finding out. That was due to me finding out that I'm allergic to tobacco flavors. It's just the FDA's way of scaring the mass public to try to kill this industry. Because let's face it, FDA don't care. The higher ups don't care. Because like my good friend Sen Cali Vapor once said, the money is in the treatment, not the cure. They want us to be sick. Because the longer we're sick, the more money we pay to be treated. The more money that goes into their pockets. Simple as that. They are trying to find every trick possible to scare the public. Try to scare us. Just so this industry can die. But I'll tell you one thing, folks.
We're stronger than them.
And I can speak for myself. I can't really speak for Spike or any other vapor out there. Whether you're just an average everyday vapor or a reviewer or a vape personality on some sort of social media. But I can speak for myself saying I'm not going anywhere.
Me neither.
I'm at 233 subs right now, which a reminder, folks, if I get up to 300, I'm doing a huge giveaway. Or a chance to score a care package. I don't care if I stay at this 233. Because my job here is to help people. To connect people. So I don't care if I stay at 233. I don't care if my number is down to 1, 100, 200. I don't care. Even if I, in some chance of a miracle, get up to 100,000. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not changing my game. So to any naysayer out there, to any hater, anyone in the FDA, I'm like a bad habit. I'm hard to get rid of. So who we got in chat? Let's discuss with chat a little bit.
Chat's been pretty light.
How many people we got watching currently?
I see 2 people watching. Hold on, let me refresh that page. Live chat. Yeah, I see 2 people.
Really, only 2. Damn.
Yeah.
Are we live?
Actually, I'm. Hold on. Let me send a message out. I'm not seeing it on my screen. I'm seeing Waiting for Monster Man.
Go back to the home. Go back to my page because maybe it opened up a different window.
Okay.
I'm not very tech savvy, folks.
Yeah, we are live.
All right, so who do we have in chat? Do we have anybody?
Oh, okay. Yeah, no. Here goes the chat.
Sorry about that, folks.
Sorry. Hang on. Let me scroll up to the top.
We had a meh moment.
Yeah. We got Marcius. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong.
That's right, Marcius.
We got Mitch. We've got
Mitch.
One True Texan. We got Wilhelm the Great. We've got J Money, Shane in Black, Sun Cell Vapor.
Sen Cali.
Oh yeah, my apology. We got Roberto. Show and Tell Vapes. Shauna in Black.
Shayna,
my apologies. Yeah.
All right, so we got a few people watching. So everybody, again, welcome to the show. If y'all have opinions on what we are talking about, you all know the rule. You all are more than welcome to post your opinions in chat. Because this is a again, what did I call it? This is not a place for sensitive ninnies. That's what I said. Everyone can post their opinions on my shows, on my videos, because this is a channel for adults. My philosophy is, when it comes to giving opinions, you give your opinion, someone else gives their opinion, that's it. It's when someone gets butthurt because someone did not agree with them and tries to make them think that they're wrong, that's when it becomes drama. And I do not do that. So what is everybody vaping on in chat? Because I'm sorry, folks, I cannot see chat tonight. So Spike is right now the only one with chat open. So if you ask a question, if someone asks us a question, Spike, for you or for me, feel free to read it out loud so we can answer it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just astounded at how much flavor this Zeus X actually has. Of course, I have a pretty not a exotic, but definitely not a traditional build. I have a staggered fuse Clapton thrown in there at a .19.
Nice. We got some chat. We got Wilhelm the Great. He's vaping on the Exceed Edge XP. Shauna Vupu Drag Platinum with the Rebirth RTA.
Shayna does love that Fupu Drag Platinum.
And of course, my Soren drop.
She's a big pod lover.
I don't know. I've tried a bunch of different pods, and that's your Ryan Q. Wow. If you guys out there in chat have not had a chance to try it, it's worth it. I know it's a little bit more expensive, but hands down, best pod I've ever tried.
Which, by the way, folks, if you're not following Shanna in Black on Instagram, go give her a follow. She has some really nice pictures. She's a really good person, so give her a follow, please. Good old beer. I know beer ain't for everybody, but it's cheap. I think it's good. And you can drink a whole bunch of it.
Right? Hey, and I don't know, out of all the alcoholic drinks out there, beer goes great with the right kind of juice.
Oh yeah, kind of like what Bogan does. He in his reviews he always like does a beer taste with a vape when he does a review, which I think is really really cool.
Shayna just said thanks, Matt. I'm not sure what that's to, but
that's to me.
Yeah.
So, you're welcome, Shayna. Anytime, sweetheart. So, what is everybody's opinion on what we are discussing about what they're saying, what they're finding in the vapor and the cotton? Again, if you have a different opinion than mine or Spike's, you're more than welcome to voice it. Everyone has a voice in the chat.
We got a couple new ones in there. We got Dead Broke Vaping. What's up? We got the real Stevie J.
My brothers. Some good friends of mine. Oh, excuse me, folks. But let's see what's another. I had something else to say, but I just lost my train of thought. If I start becoming more absent-minded, folks, I do apologize. That's probably because the beer is starting to kick in. Because I'm actually slamming these beers tonight because I don't care. Well, I had my last day of work before my weekend was Friday, and let's just say it was a pretty long and stressful night, and yeah, I'm still trying to unwind from that shit.
Sen Cali said, to put in perspective, vaping is better than smoking. There's some nasty stuff in those stinkies.
Oh God, yeah. You see, here's another thing. This is what's really fishy about what the FDA is doing, and this is actually the argument I use with people who come to me trying to tell me that vaping is just as bad, if not worse, than smoking. It's like when they tell me that, it's like, all right, then why is places like Canada, all the countries in the UK, and multiple other countries over the pond, down south of the earth or up north of the earth, why is all these countries say that vaping is less harmful and are now pushing for it, but yet the U.S. is not one to listen? The UK did a 10-year study. And Vaping Joe M, me and him were talking last night, and this is his, I'm kind of quoting him on it. So if Vaping Joe is watching, feel free to correct me if I get your quotes wrong. The healthcare up in Canada is more of a, I guess you say, publicly funded, government funded. It's not really a business. What did Joe say? up there in Canada and the UK, healthcare is not a business. It's more of actually wanting to help the citizens and help them be healthier. Because the healthcare of Canada it's called what? Universal healthcare? Is that what it's called? And you guys do pay for your healthcare, but it's not. You don't make like monthly payments out of your paycheck. It's more of you just pay higher taxes. Is that correct, Spike?
Sorry, what was that?
When it comes to y'all's healthcare up there in Canada,
Yeah.
you do pay for it, but it comes in your taxes, like at the end of the year, right?
Yes, I believe so.
And it's called universal healthcare.
As far as I know, it's called OHIP.
All right.
Yeah, you could be right.
So the government's getting their money to fund y'all's healthcare. So they are going to help you. I think it's the same way with the UK. And again, if I'm wrong in any way, shape, or form, folks, correct me. I don't care. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm going to say that right now. So, from what Joe was telling me, is that unlike here in the U.S., which I guess he said healthcare was more like a business. So, guess what? The healthcare has to make money off of you. So, if you're healthy and don't have any issues, obviously you're not going to have to pay for healthcare. Or pay as much. So they want you to be sick. They want you to be hurt. Just so they can make money off you. And that's what I think is what's going on. And if I'm wrong, correct me.
In chat, Sen Cali said universal health care primarily funded through taxation. Wilhelm the Great said it's all in the taxes. Jay Jari said healthcare free at entry, but yeah, taxes used in UK.
So the healthcare up there in Canada and in the UK is more of a public thing, whereas healthcare here in the States is more private. I think if I process the information wrong, I apologize. Again, folks, I'm drinking here. But St. Cali did. I remember either he told me in person or he told me, or he said something in a chat of a different show. The money here in the U.S. when it comes to healthcare, the money is not in the cure; it's in the treatment, and that's the bullshit. That's bullshit. No, just to kind of throw it out there, I am thankful that my healthcare I don't pay for because of where I work. But I know there are people out there that really can't afford it because they don't have that kind of job. But here's what I don't get. Okay, here's a bit of a fact for you. Taxes did not really come into play here in the States until I think, if my research was correct, a lot of the taxes that we pay here in the States came around during the Great Depression, and their primary goal was to get us out of the Great Depression. So these were meant to be temporary. Why do we still have them? Because the government is nothing but a bunch of greedy. I'm just going to say they're greedy. I'm not going to let my mouth get me in trouble. I'm actually going to put on somewhat of a filter tonight.
Just want to put this out there for any of you guys that in Canada, or even, I know it's out, some of it's out in the UK. This other juice I've been vaping on, it's jackfruit and banana from Great Canadian Fog. Guys, this stuff is fire.
I'm afraid to pull up chat on my phone because I am controlling the stream on my phone.
Jay Jari had said they were
Jay,
thinking of changing it over here in the UK for years. Never has happened yet.
and it's Jay Jerry, by the way.
Okay, my apologies. I'm horrible with names.
Hey, I'm just letting you know.
I appreciate it though. Sorry about that, buddy.
It's Jay Jerry, and it's not Shauna. It's Shayna in black.
Shade, yeah, I caught it, yeah.
So it's just another way of the government trying to scare people into getting on their side and trying to get rid of this. The damn moms in their minivans. That's what everybody else calls it. That's what other people that do shows like Heavy Metal Vapor. He said it a few times. I think Matt from Suck My Ma said it a few times. But why can't we as a country, not just the people, but also the government, why can't we all just band together and try to make this country better? And I kind of have an idea why. Probably because the government sees that, probably is thinking, well, if we make this better, we lose money, because everybody be healthy. Everybody be healthy. Oh my god. The beer's kicking in already. I also started drinking before I ate. This time I ate before the show though, so ain't gotta worry about no ASMR bullshit. So Jay Hayes, if you're watching, brother, I'm not gonna be eating anything during the show because I was the smart one this time and actually ate before I went live. But I'll tell you what's funny though, and me and Spike were talking about this before we went live. So this time last week I was up to 237 subscribers. Well, I lost 4, and now I'm back down to 233. But it's not that I'm mad about it. However, I will say what's funny about it is my profile Unity review is still up. It's right now at 94 views. And again, I don't like the Unity. I didn't like it. I tried everything to make it better, and I could not get it to work like I thought it should. And I noticed that when I lost those 4 subs was when the Unity got 4 more views. So it's like for every view I get on the Unity, I lose a subscriber. I think people are a little butthurt because I said the Unity is not that good. And Spike said this, and so I'm going to say it too because I full-heartedly agree with him. People, as a reviewer, you give out your opinion on a product. It's your opinion. I'm not the only one that did a review on the Unity. I know I put the review out. I know Jay Hayes put the review out. I believe Matt from Suck My Mod did. I think Mike Vapes did too. Rip Trippers did, but in reality, I don't really think Rip counts as a reviewer, really. He's more of an infomercial now, which, hey, okay, I know a lot of people don't like Rip. I don't watch him a lot unless there's a product that looks interesting to me. So I'll kind of like watch like the very beginning of it to see what it is. But whatever Rip is doing, it is working out for him. He is obviously making a pretty good living at it. So hey, if it's working for him, if he's doing what he's doing and it's working and he's making a living at it, hey brother, you just keep doing what you're doing. If it's working out for you, keep doing it. But quit using clickbait, damn it. Well, like his last video was on the Rebirth RTA. And in the title it said, "The Rebirth RTA by Mike Vapes and Hell Vape sucks." So when you read that, you thinking, and even the thumbnail is him giving the thumbs down. So you're thinking, oh, he's gonna be hating on the rebirth, but then you click on it, and he was just fucking with you.
I know. You know what? I'll admit it. I fell for it too.
Although, granted, you do what you got to do to bring people in to view your content. I do get it, but I tuned into that video not to like look at the product, but to like look at the comments. Oh my! There was like I think at the time there was like 120 comments, and they were all like people saying, "Quit using clickbait. Oh, he clickbait the shit out of us. Blah blah. Clickbait, 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 clickbait." I watch Rip's. I don't really watch Rip's videos. However, though, I will go down to the comments just for the comedy. Because let me tell you something. Some of the people that comment on Rip's videos, oh man, if they went on, if you give them a microphone and put them up on the stage, they'll be doing a comedy special within 6 months.
Jerry just said in chat, think out of the box.
Think out of the box.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
You mind going a little more detail, Jerry, just to kind of, because we don't know what you're talking about, man. So if you could just kind of be a little, enlighten us a little bit more, if you could, please, brother. Whew, I'm feeling pretty good right now. I'll tell you one thing, the peanut butter rocket is really, really good. So folks, if you don't have a Zeus X RTA, get one. If you haven't tried peanut butter rocket, go to Artist Liquid's website, look it up, get at least a bottle. It's a really good juice if you like peanut butter. I do gotta say though, when I ordered 4 120s of the peanut butter rocket, this I didn't buy, and this came in the package. So I don't know. I don't know if maybe Ken threw this into the package for me to try or what. But I'm kind of glad it's got included. So whether it was Ken's idea or Artist's idea, either way, thank you to Artist and Ken, both. It is a really good juice. My first ever banana flavored liquid, and I actually like it. Okay, scratch that. It's my second banana flavor ever tried. The first one had kind of tasted like the banana runts, which with a chemical taste. It was not very good. It's like, am I vaping an e-liquid or a cleaning product?
Jerry said, just think out box before you click videos.
Very, very true.
And TKAT just popped into chat and said, hi, beautiful peeps. What's up, TKAT?
TKAT. Like I said, folks, she will be on the show here in a little while. She just has to pick up her kid, which is completely understandable. I will say, though, right now, for upcoming reviews, I'm testing out the Checkmate mod. I have the UL Crown 4 that came with it to the side. I want to keep it clean for the download of the review, and then once I do that, I'll test it for a couple days and then come back with my final opinion. So right now I'm just testing out the mod itself. Kind of playing with it a little bit, seeing how it works. I gotta say, this is a small mod. A small little 200 watt mod, probably no bigger than a deck of cards. And I gotta say, I'm actually quite impressed with this thing right now.
Mike TVA just popped in chat. You know you can't go wrong with that ammonia flavor that bleaches amaze balls.
Oh, Mike. 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 Oh, Mike. There she is.
TKAT, what's going on?
Hi, Ralph.
TKAT, how you doing this evening?
I'm okay. Hearing a dog whine is the greatest feeling in the universe.
So tell us what you're vaping on and what you're drinking.
Well, I'm gonna go grab my vape. Because I got a beautiful new vape mod. So, everybody knows I like the profile. But I got the Warrior 85 by Tesla. And what I juice is the quad berry again. Because, well, I can now taste the flavor. And mixed with the blue lemons by 100. Or keep it 100.
Now, me and Sal were talking earlier this week, and you were having trouble picking up the blueberry in that juice. Were you able to figure out what was going on?
My chaos is crapping out.
Ah.
So it wasn't letting me hit as I would like.
See, I knew it had to be a power issue going on because I noticed that, for example, the razzle sauce. I noticed at lower wattage it tastes more like a tart raspberry, where at higher wattages it tastes more like a sweet raspberry.
My dog's doing the I can hear the tiptoes. I don't know if that's here on my monitor. He's going like, and then starts whining, and then he's letting me know he's gotta go. I'll be right back. I just got here.
Mike TVA said, what, you know me? You know me and sarcasm. We get together like lamb and tuna fish.
Mike!
Vapingjoe M, what's up?
Vapingjoe M. Which, by the way, Joe, you want to come on the panel? You're more than welcome to, man, as always. Shed some light on what I discussed earlier, what you and I were talking about last night, about the healthcare, comparing the UK and Canadian healthcare to the healthcare we have in the US. I'll tell you one thing, though. If this shit gets even more worse, I might even move up to Canada. Fuck it. Just go up to Canada. The food's better up there.
Here, our winters get a little cold, but, you know, we survive.
Okay, the last winter I was up there, minus 10 Fahrenheit, and I was still roaming around town in a hoodie and shorts. Even y'all Canadians were staring at me like, what the fuck is wrong with this dude? They looked at me like, are you from Alaska or Siberia? No, I'm from Missouri. Originally from California. Been like 14 years though since I lived there. Anybody else in chat kind of have any questions, comments, or even concerns? A concern possibly being, am I going to fall out of this chair if I drink too much beer? Which, by the way, beer number 4. Cheers. Again, I'm really afraid to look up chat because my laptop's dead. I can't find the charger, and my phone's running the OBS, and I'm afraid to exit out of the controller, worrying it's going to end the stream automatically.
I've been keeping up with chat.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
So again, Vaping Joe M, you're still watching, man. You're more welcome to come in and shed some light on some of these topics.
Mike TVA said, I'm starting my channel and I want you to be a guest. I'm not sure who that was directed to. Whether it was directed to you or in chat.
Well, the only one that can answer that's Mike. You know who I need to, and there's going to be a few more people I would like to have on the show. I would like to get Jared back on the show because when he was on that one time, it was a hell of a show. You gotta be laughing so damn hard about fell out of my chair. I would like to have the Nurse Vapes on. I watched that show she had with the real Stevie J and Willow, and that was a pretty damn good show. Although that's the first time I've ever seen Stevie that energized and animated. Love you, Stevie.
vapingjoe M said he'll be in here in a minute, and Mike said he was talking about you, wanting you to be a guest.
I'm down. What up, Joe?
What's up, Paul?
What's going on?
How you doing tonight, brother?
Doing good.
So, that discussion you and I were having last night about the whole healthcare deal, mind shedding some light on that and what you were telling me?
Okay, here's the deal. If you look at Canada, UK, places like that, they don't have the privatized medical industry like we do. So they will promote anything that is good for you and to help your health better. The problem with the U.S. is Big Pharma, it's like any other business. They're out to make as much money as they can, period. So having, promoting things that are good and helpful and healthy does not make them money. Because, if you sit and think about it, treatments, okay? I'll put it down for you. For my diabetic, my meds a month without my insurance would be about $3,000 a month. So you look at that, and my health care pays that. I have a copay at the beginning of the year for January and February, but the highest I pay is $6, and then my insurance covers the rest. And then after February, my meds are free because my insurance covers it all.
That's very lucky that you have that.
But you look at an ambulance ride is a minimum of $2,000. Just for them to come out and take you to a hospital is a minimum $2,000. And then you get into your emergency room and you get MRIs and everything else. And you could walk out from an emergency room trip owing $10,000. So they don't have or want to unprivatize the medical because they make too much money at it. By the way, this is my grandson saying hi.
Hello.
But you know, I mean, it's like you said last night, Master.
I can't hear anything, so I'm sorry. I don't have my headset on.
Then get it on.
They make more money if you're sick. What?
In chat, LabWorks said Canada, UK, and Australia all have healthcare, but also have a private system. PMI in the UK has just set up a private healthcare fund for smokers that have switched to vaping.
And I take it's probably a good thing. I'm not very savvy in the whole world of healthcare because my healthcare, my union pays for it.
Well, you should at least know what's going to happen, at least. Especially because they can shut your union just as quick as they just put it up.
Well, that's another problem. They don't tell us anything about it until it's already been done.
Well, because you got to learn about it, too. You got to figure it out. If you're not going to go for the information, you're not going to be able to find out what's going on until it happens.
Yeah.
And that works, you know. When you sign up, I don't care if it's a union or, you know, through the company and stuff. When you sign up for your insurance, you need to look at the shit because, you know, there's different types. You could end up having to pay $3,000-4,000 out of your pocket before your insurance will kick in, or, you know. But that's the biggest problem with the U.S. is because, one, they don't have a cap on the price of anything. They have no medical caps. So hospitals can charge $1,000 to have an x-ray done, when in reality it costs them maybe $20. Or, you know, well, by the time you figure in everything, you're probably about $100 for an x-ray, just so that they make, you know, make everything. So, you know, I mean,
Speaking of
a cancer patient, do one treatment of radiation. That is $15,000 for one treatment. The number one thing that puts people into debt in the U.S. is medical. That is the number one thing.
Quit teasing me with that Tim Hortons. Speaking of like health and medical and all that, Joe, tell TKAT what you found on the label of an American e-juice company.
Oh yeah, TKAT, you'll love this one. Okay, it's the Milk King, made by Dripmore.
Uh-huh.
Let's see if I can get it here.
Warning.
It has an allergen warning for people with nut allergies, and it's an American company.
Oh, nice.
Very top one, and it says that, you know, I can't read it right now, but it says this product may contain trace elements of nuts. This is an e-liquid product. And they're out of California, I do believe it is. Yeah, Riverside, California.
They must have been watching some videos.
Who knows? Who knows who's really watching streams? A lot of people like to watch incognito.
Well, you know, I mean, I think that should be on every bottle. That.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Especially even if they don't make it, they could say made in a peanut-free facility, and that would be acceptable.
Yeah.
As long as they state if they have worked with peanuts or if they haven't worked with peanuts. If they work with peanuts, make a take. If they don't have any peanuts in any of their liquids.
Say it's peanut free.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you something. The first time when she really started getting into vaping, when me and Sal took her to the vape shop to get her some juices, it was a nightmare trying to find her a flavor.
Well, see, that's the problem. When you have a peanut allergy, it's not just e-juice. I mean, go shopping with somebody that's got a peanut allergy.
Oh, yeah.
They will literally read every damn ingredient before they put the thing in their cart to make sure it don't have any peanuts in it.
See, the last time me and Sal were up there visiting, we went to the store and I was getting stuff to cook. I literally had to ask her, "Can you have this? Can you have this?"
But, I mean, you got to, I mean, depending on how severe your allergy is to peanuts, that could be a life or death thing.
Oh, yeah. It's really weird because I'm allergic to tobacco flavoring, but I can hang around with cigarettes all day long and not be affected.
That's because you're not allergic to tobacco. You're allergic to the flavor.
That's true.
Tobacco flavoring is actually totally different than tobacco.
Oh. Well, learn something new every day.
Because tobacco flavoring is... It's kind of like with nicotine. There are some companies that are using nicotine that is derived from tomatoes and eggplants and shit.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? That nicotine is totally different than like your pre-stem nicotine or your nic salts or, you got different levels of nicotine. And it's the same with flavorings. You've got different levels and how they get the tobacco flavoring and how it's made. So,
Which, don't you love the look on people's faces when you tell them what some of the foods that they eat on a daily basis contain nicotine?
Well, see, people don't know it. And all these people are talking about, the FDA is going to ban nicotine. Okay, well, if they ban nicotine, they're going to have a lawsuit right away.
Because everything has nicotine.
Yep.
Which means we won't have food. We will not be able to eat people. That is what they're telling.
And it's like I always say, the FDA, if you want to actually be honest about shit, the only thing the FDA can go after, and if you look, it'll ring true, is the e-juice and the nicotine. They can't go after your mods. They can't go after your RDAs or sub-ohm tanks or any of that. Reason being, that's not a food and it's not a drug. It's a delivery system.
Yep.
So in order to go after the delivery system, because it has a chip in it and a board, you have to go through the FCC to go after the mods. And, okay, they put out a new bill that's talking about online ordering e-juice, banning all this and regulating it, and the juices are only going to be able to be done if they're FDA approved. And here's the deal. If that bill passes, it is going to be 3 to 4 years before that will actually go into effect. Now, I guarantee you that before that 3 or 4 years is up, they will have made and figured out how they can tax or make money off the e-juice and how the government can make money off of the delivery device. Because I guarantee you they're in the back rooms talking with FCC about how they can regulate this. Now, the one thing that they're not being able to regulate is kind of mech mod. Because a mech mod does not have a chip set in it. So the thing that's going to get hit the hardest when they do actually get to where they figure out how to make good money off of this and everything, it's going to be your mech mods. Just because they can't regulate it. But see, the government does not look at the different types of devices. They just lump it all into one thing called an e-cigarette. No matter what it is. And, you know, that's why when you see these things on CNN, you know, somebody blew their face off by an e-cigarette. No, they didn't blow it off by an e-cigarette. They blew it off with the mech mod because they didn't know what the fuck they were doing.
Exactly.
And why is it they don't know what the fuck they're doing? Because the government has put a law in stating that you cannot touch a mod or set a mod up for anybody in a vape store. You are not even supposed to be able to, you're not supposed to talk about it and tell them, you know, you need to know this, you need to know that, you know, you need to know Ohm's law, you need to know battery safety, you need to know what you're building and how you're building it, and you know, what coil, you know, what your ohms are on coils, and you know, by law, they can fine you if they come in and you're actually talking about it.
Right. And that's where a lot of us other fellow vapors come in, is trying to help.
Yeah, but you know, I mean, okay.
But I will agree, though, it is bullshit how shops themselves can't do it.
There is an estimated between 10 and 12 million people vaping in the U.S. alone. YouTube, maybe 2 million. So you have anywhere from 8 to 10 million people out there that don't know and don't educate themselves by watching videos on YouTube or know it's even there. Because every reviewer, I don't care who you are, you go back in their videos, they tell you, you know, if they deal with mech mods, they tell you Ohm's law and teach you how to do your coils and how to set up a rebuildable and, you know, all of it from start to finish. Come on, man, you've got some on different types of wires. So,
I've seen that happen too.
and it don't make sense that you can legally go on YouTube and tell people how to do this and give them the warnings and everything else. But you as a store owner or an employee at a vape store cannot tell them the safety and the warnings on a mod. Nor can you help them build it or set it up right for them after point of sale. And if you do, you could face a fine if it's a sting going on. And the fines are not cheap, they're like $5,000 fine.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not just the store that gets the fine, the person doing it gets fined also. You know, so it's like Heavy has said, you know, he don't give a shit what they say. He's going to tell his customers, you know, the do's and don'ts, and, you know, make sure that they're as safe as they can be with whatever they purchase. And he will help them build it, if they, you know, and show them the right way and stuff. He don't care, because he's willing to take that fine to make sure that that person ain't walking out of the store and going 2 blocks, and because they did it wrong, blowing their damn face up.
And it's like I can't remember what Facebook group it was in, but someone said that they just bought a mech mod, but then they put in, "Could somebody teach me?" And that falls with what you just said. You need to learn the do's and don'ts before you even think about buying one.
Well, and it's not just a mech mod. You need to learn your do's and don'ts on any rebuildable. Because I don't care if it's regulated or not. If I put a fucking wild ass build in this could blow up just like anything else. It could torch that circuit out, blow the battery. The battery could vent, I mean.
It can get too hot and it.
Yeah. And this is an old mod and it's all fucked up because 510's all fucking loose and shit.
Now people may say though, doesn't the board or a chip help keep all that without blowing it up? Well, it can only work so much. It can only go so far. If it gets hot enough, if the device gets hot enough, that board can and probably most likely will fail, and at that point, you're fucked.
Yeah.
I have a fan sitting behind my tablet here. You know the reason why? Because even with this, it's a regulated mod. If I take, and chain vape on it real long, the battery and the battery cover and part of the mod will get real warm. And when it does that, I set it in front of a fan to cool it down so that battery don't vent. You can never tell, you take a chance every time you put a battery into a mod, whether it's going to work and work right, or if it's going to vent, or, if something's going to go wrong.
Right, because let's take the Maxo 315 for example. The chip in this one is rated for a 0.06 ohm build. Yes, it's made for that. So people are probably going to be like, well, I can build down to a 0.06. Well, no, because in my early stages of vaping, my earlier stages, just over a year, when I first bought my first Maxo, I put a 0.06 on here, tried to dry fire it, fucker got hot.
But see, that's the thing that people don't understand. Just because a mod is regulated to a 0.06 or a 0.07, that is just a standard. It won't fire anything less than that. But that is not where you should be building your builds to on a constant thing. Because
exactly.
It's not going to regulate it constantly at that wattage or at that ohm.
It's more so just a purpose of giving you that wider window of error or safety, but not very much.
And the other thing is you can take a 0.6, all right, let's just go with the 0.06. When you first put it in that mod, you know that when you dry fire it, it could go as low as like a 0.2 before you get it completely dry fired and set in. Every coil is like that. It can drop up to 4 ohms lower than what your mod is saying that it is. So, there's been times I've got a 0.7, I had a 0.7. Now, in all my RDAs, I run a 0.24. And I had a mod that would not fire lower than a 0.7. And when I was dry burning the coils, I had to do it on a different mod because every once in a while, the ohms would screw up as you're dry firing it in and would go low and it wouldn't fire. And the other thing I see, it just fucking irritates me to hell. Somebody taking an RDA, putting brand new coils in it, and putting it on a mech mod and dry fire.
Yeah, no.
The other day, but that is kind of like something that you shouldn't put on or show. And I mean, Truckin said before he did it, do not do this. But, you know, he didn't have any regular mods right then when he was doing the bill. But you'd never put it on a mech mod because you need to know your ohms before you put it on a mech mod, so you're not getting it so low that you're going to take a hit off of it and it's going to fucking burn the hell out of the inside of your mouth because it's so low ohm that it's a hot ass fucking vape.
Yeah.
Or it's going to short out and vent the batteries.
I mean, like, me personally, like, yeah, I vape with mech mods all the time. Anytime that I put, like, a brand new fresh set of coils in it, I usually vape it off of a regulated mod for, like, I don't know, an hour at least before I put it on my mech mod, just so I know my ohms are staying what they're saying, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, and I understand that. But once you get them dry fired and you get them all set and they're all locked the fuck in, you've got everything tightened down and stuff, 90% of the time you're going to be fine to go straight to a mech mod like that, and start vaping. But it's always a good idea to have a regulated mod around if you're going to be doing mech, so that you can look and see, my ohms right now are 0.21. And if you don't have that, hell, they make the fucking ohm meters that you can screw on and dry fire and everything right there from the ohm meter before you ever put it on.
And granted that every mod's different when it comes to like builds. Sometimes it can't. Okay, TKAT. And like every mod's different as far as reading ohms. Like say you do a build, and one mod reads a 0.18. You throw on another one, it reads a 0.16, and the other one reads a 0.21. Now it's probably if I'm wrong here, correct me. But most of the time, you're probably not going to get a deadly accurate reading on a resistance. However, though, if you were to say put that on build on multiple mods to kind of see where you're at as far as the range, it can be a pretty good indication.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Because like right now, I'm running a what's the reading on this Checkmate? 0.19. Now, if I were to take it off of the Checkmate and put it on the Maxo, let's see what the Maxo reads at. The Maxo, so remember, 0.19 on the Checkmate. Maxo is reading this at a 0.17. We put it, so let's go with the Titan. I'm just explaining that you can't get an accurate reading just on one device or one ohm meter. Sometimes you gotta put it on multiple ones to kind of give you that window. 0.21 on the Titan. A mod shouldn't really get. How you can tell that a build is safe for a mod, whether it be for a mech or for regulated, I believe. If the device itself does not get hot from the build or from firing it, then 9 times out of 10 you're probably okay. But you also gotta go based off of the amperage of the battery.
I always go off the amperage. Doesn't matter if it's regulated or not.
And there are plenty of ohm calculators that help you determine. You figure out the amperage of your battery, and you just go off of that calculator, and what it tells you what is the lowest safe range. So, like, if you were to throw a VCT5A, which I believe was 30 amp battery.
I do believe so, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I do this all the time. I believe 30 amps. So if you're going to run a single battery mech with a VTC 5A, so you use 30 amps at a full charge, which will probably put you around the lowest build possible without exceeding that 30 amps. Is roughly probably a 0.14.
So you got stable amps and max current. So stable amps 25, max 30 amps.
So for stable, yeah. So basically, people stay.
Stable at 25.
Yeah, which would probably put you around the point. Which would probably put you around the 0.18, 0.17 probably mark. Maybe a point, 0.2 maybe.
If you want to be safe, then 0.2 or higher.
Well, okay. Now, mech mods are not regulated.
No.
But if you talk to most people, most reviewers that deal with mech mods, now, like Heavy, you got Mike Vapes, you got Logan, and that's just three. I'm positive there's others out there that use mechs all the time. Them are just the three that I always watch and I always talk to if I have a question on a mech. They will tell you to go at a 0.3 or higher on a mech mod to be completely safe. Period. Now, do they do that? No. But if you're a beginner getting into a mech mod, until you have got it down pat and you know your battery amps and you know what your limits are to where you can build to with certain batteries. Now, I like Samsung, so I go with the 20Ss or their 30 Qs.
30 T's word. By the way, TKAT, that's free here.
Pickle Rick.
Rub-a-dub-dub.
Oh my god.
I even have earrings of pickled Rick.
There you go.
Is it?
We're dorks. Let's admit it. We're all dorks.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, no problem, man. And like I said, I'd be more than happy to be on your show if you want me to.
And see, I deal with mainly 18650s. I don't want to go out and buy a bunch of different batteries for one month. I have a shitload of 18650s, and one of the best ones that you can buy for 18650 or a mech mod is the Samsung 20S. Now they have come out with a monocell battery, which Battery Mooch has already done testing on it, and a monocell is one of the, a true monocell, not a copy, is a very, very good battery. Which, okay, if you're going to get into mech mods and you're going to want to learn from one of the best first people, look up Battery Mooch.
Yeah.
Because if there's a battery out there, Battery Mooch has done the testing on it. And the man knows what the hell he's talking about.
Which, by the way, folks, if you never heard of Barry Mooch, go give him a subscribe and watch his videos. He is one hell of an educated man.
Absolutely.
Sorry, my wife is joining me, but she's too shy to be on camera. Or got called a dork twice in 2 seconds.
We all are dorks, man.
Love you.
Hey, speaking of which, I was hanging out with Jared the Vaping Goat again last night. I swear that man's got a personal mission to try to nick me out.
No, it wasn't Jared just trying to nick you out.
Oh yeah, it was Brian too, Bartholomew.
No, I'm talking about Jared. She thought you were trying to tell me not to tell her something. And I'm like, no, he's talking about Jared.
Well, we got Mike the Vaping Ape, we got Jared the Vaping Goat. We got a whole fucking zoo in this community, folks.
Yeah, by the way, that's the tank you hate, right?
I don't hate it. All right, I do not hate the tank. It wicked great. It vaped good. I just didn't get any flavor off of it.
I call bullshit, but okay.
My 2 cents, man. Take it with a grain of salt, or in my case, a shot of whiskey.
Unity, right?
He was having paper tongue when he did the Unity. He couldn't taste
Why?
it.
Mouthwash.
Well, everybody has their own preference when it comes.
Oh, I know. I'm just busting his chops.
You can't bust my chops, man. You'll break your hand.
I can't reach you. I'm too short.
I unsubscribed to him when he did the fucking Unity, damn it.
Oh, shit.
Which, by the way, okay, I got to one of the best clickbaits I've seen for a while. I've got to give to Rick Griffith. If you guys have not seen what his latest video, it is called My Vapes Rebirth Sucks.
Yeah, he even did the whole thumbs down thing and everything.
But within the first minute of the video, he was praising it. That was the best clickbait I have seen.
Because he didn't get his money? I forgot to pay him for the review.
Oh no, it was all clickbait. I mean, he like the first 30 seconds he said this Rebirth RTA it sucks. Then a pause and then it says it just sucks the flavor. This thing is good.
Yeah.
Fucking rip. Like I said though, hey, if whatever he's doing, if it's working for him, that's great. Do I?
I mean, but see, here's the deal. Rick does not just make money from YouTube, and he does not just rely on YouTube.
Right.
If you go and watch, he has a question and answer segment, and the last one, he was talking, answering some of the questions. He has his hands in real estate and other things that, I mean, he said he had something like 7 or 8 buildings.
Right, so he has a wide range of business income.
Yes, and he's a complete self-made man, and that's how he was raised. Was that if you're going to go for something, you go for it, you put 100% into it, and you achieve it. And he does it. I mean, he does it, and he stays out of the drama and bullshit. He don't have. He said it himself. He don't have time to be watching shows or be on live shows and shit because he does the videos. He edits. He's constantly shooting videos and editing. And when he's not doing that, he's spending time with his family and his 3 girls. I mean, he's the largest vape reviewer out there. But I mean, the man he's done photography. He had a business doing shooting wedding photos and shit. So I mean, he's got the photography side of it down. He's got the business side of it down.
He also restores classic cars and then flips them.
Yeah. I mean, the man's got his hands in a bunch of things.
Yeah, he's a busy man.
But
I never hated Rip.
I guarantee his family's never wanted anything. Because I'm pretty sure if his girls want something, he just goes out and buys the damn thing because he's got the bank to do it.
Right. He's got pretty deep pockets. I mean, got him.
He even said he knows this YouTube thing is not going to go on the rest of his life. He knows that YouTube eventually is going to shut down the vaping part.
I'm sorry.
Just wants to make sure that his family has everything that they want and need, and he works his ass off to do it.
He makes sure that he's financially stable.
Yeah.
The only thing I don't like about Rip, and this is just my opinion, is that he some of the phrases and the sounds that he makes can be a bit of annoying at times. Although he can be funny when it comes to, like when he says, this thing hits harder than a truck full of damn dildos. It's like, where the hell did you come up with that?
I know, right?
Or smooth as a baby's ass. But, he's known for it. The only thing that I fault him on is if you look at his older videos, he used to take the time and actually show him building it and doing things like that. Now, he shows you that it's already built, juiced, and everything, and he vapes on it, and, voila, he's done. He's went from being a reviewer to a promoter.
Yeah.
But
he makes more money at the promoting than he did the reviewing.
I wouldn't know how to build coils if I wanted to like that. If you want to be perfectly honest. Fuse Clapton's will learn how to do that while watching his build videos along with a couple other people. Stovetop coil, I forgot the name, like the mini Dragon coil, and then there's plenty of builds that I did because of Web. So I'm not going to knock the guy for that because he's a hell of a reviewer and he's got more.
I'd like to learn.
Stop playing that game.
I'd like to learn one that he called the sleeper.
Oh yeah, where the two coils share one lead on the positive.
Well, no, on the negative, because it's coiled on one side, then the wires are into, and then coiled on the other side, so it's all one wire, and it shares the negative is just one wire instead of two, and then you got your positive posts. I'd love to learn how to build that one.
Master, now you know why I do this shit in my car, because she's sitting there trying to crack me up on camera.
Hey, Mrs. TVA, keep up the good work.
The good work. I told her I'm about to put her on camera if she doesn't stop.
Oh, you cruel bastard.
She's in BJ's. I don't think she wants me to do that. Keep it up. Keep it up. TKAT, finally, yes, I have somebody who puts up my shit.
Well, and here you go, okay. Dave B makes a good point.
Yeah,
My biggest gripe with Rick is that he doesn't use his massive influence advocacy at all. That's not right. He needs to give back. I can't disagree with Dave on that. I think Rick Tripper does need to do something in the industry. Now, I don't know his finances. I don't know that he does. Maybe he does contribute to CASA or something like that. But then now, you're getting into the advocacy part. And I'm sorry, and I'm probably going to piss people off, but I agree with trucking. I don't agree with the fucking advocacy. I don't agree with CASA. I don't agree with any of it.
I'm kind of that same boat. I'm not in the boat. I'm kind of in the boat, but I'm also out of the boat. I'm kind of like sitting on the edge of the boat kind of thing,
Well, okay. Watched Trucking Show last night. Me, Kelly, and Roberto were talking about this. They put in a gag order, the government did, saying, that you couldn't put anything out about vaping. Okay? But they broke their own gag order by putting out the truth campaign and then damn puppets and everything against vaping. So, if they can break their own gag order, why can't these advocacies companies, CASA or any advocacy, raise money and take their money and actually put it into a nationwide commercial supporting vaping? You can talk to senators all you want. You can be in all these rooms in the back deals and all this shit. If you don't have the power of the public behind you on something, you can throw all the money you want at it. You're not getting nowhere. And if you look, they've been doing the same shit since 2009. This has been 10 years that the FDA has been trying to attack vaping. So, why not put the money that's being donated towards something that would actually help? Like a nationwide commercial. And you can't tell me they can't do it, because before I shut my cable off and just went to streaming stuff, there was vape shops paying for commercials for the vape shop. And having people write in there saying, look, I'm healthier now that I quit vaping. I can do this because of vaping, and I can do this because of vaping, and I couldn't do it because I was smoking. I feel better. I breathe better. Now, they wouldn't put in they wouldn't straight up say that it's 95% healthier, because, you just can't make, you can't make that claim. But you can say, I breathe better. I feel better. My taste buds are better.
Sense of smell's better.
Yeah, I don't stink all the damn time.
I can still smell the shit in my car. I think it's been 4 years in June.
Get that thing detailed.
But
You missed my wallet. She went that way.
that's my biggest question. Why are they not doing it?
That's a very good question. That's a very good question.
I remember for CASA for a year. Now, Monster Man, I know you live up there in Missouri. You are not that far away from me. I live on the Iowa-Nebraska border. You know how many times I've gotten anything from CASA?
I had to find out from somebody else in my state that they're doing a, 67% tax hike on wholesale. Fucking ridiculous.
But
I get all my stuff, my information from local shop owners and what they've heard.
I just go to Jared.
we won't get in on the whole shop owners thing, because that's a whole nother fucking subject in itself.
Right.
There are not enough of them that are doing fucking anything for the vape community.
No, they're trying to survive.
Which, by the way,
I'm trying to be mean.
Missouri has just become a T21 state. Now, here's what's sketchy about it. There was originally, it was on the last state votes for like senator and all that, where you still also had like bills for like, make the legal age, of this, all that good stuff. But during that time, that bill got voted down by a landslide. But then for some reason, Missouri just said, "No, fuck you, we ain't listening to that," and they just went ahead and did it.
I'll see what Arkansas is doing. We voted in medical marijuana. So with some, I don't remember the bill, dealing with medical marijuana, they slipped T21 in.
Well, no, that's not the thing. They didn't slip T21 in. T21 here got voted down.
I'm sure it'll get voted down here too,
But then for some reason, Missouri just said, fuck you, and still did it anyway.
Missouri's in the usual state anyway. No offense. They
Hey.
always march to the beat of their own drum.
That's the whole point. Missouri. Now, okay, Iowa. We're still 18. And I was searching the other day. You know, in Iowa, they have and most states have it, the Clean Air Act, which was put in so that you're not able to smoke outside, like hospitals, some parks and places like that. Now, you can legally vape in their marriage because they have not revised that Clean Air Act to include vaping in it. So all these places that put out no smoking signs, you can stand there and vape, and I mean if you could legally stand there and vape. Now, they could try to give you a ticket and stuff, and you could take it to court, and you could pull up the Clean Air Act and say, look, Clean Air Act was put in I think it was like 2014, something like that. Nowhere in there does it say that you cannot vape outside. And you could win the case. I mean, that's a federal law. But a lot of places are overlooking that. Which I'm sure if you looked up in Missouri and looked at the Clean Air Act in Missouri, it would probably be about the same thing. They wouldn't have put vaping in.
I'm kind of curious what TKAT's doing right now.
Actually, my ADD kicked in. I'm like, what the hell is she doing? I'm trying to
I love these. They're called metallic markers. And I have them on one of my other vapes, and it stays. It's not like permanent marker. I can actually modify the coloring. I am modding my mod with color.
There you go.
Blue and yellow. You got the damn minion mod now. Illumination!
I was just thinking that now that you did that. But no, I'm making it all blue.
I think I might bust this out just for Monster. Took Jared's advice and took a pair of pliers to the little hinge right here to see if it holds. In the back.
And to answer JB, yes, advocacy is all we have right now. But it comes down to knowing where your money's going and what it's going for.
Right.
Advocacy as it is right now does not work. It's not working. And it hasn't worked. They've been doing it since 2009 and nothing has really changed.
But also the people, it also comes down to the people as well. Because there are people, you got the people that, like guys like me, guys like Grim Green, guys like I think Heavy Metal also does a bunch of advocacy, and also Jared and Ken. We preach it all the time, but it also has to come down to the people. And now there are people that do help out, but there's also people that don't.
Sure.
There are the people out there that just want to vape and not have to worry about anything.
Okay, Jared said it one day. The only thing that is actually going to work for a baby is doing it well. And what he meant was getting people together, getting groups of vapors together in different states, and marching up to Capitol building and doing it old school with signs and half the people standing beside the Capitol building preaching and protesting for vaping.
Protests.
Oh hell, I'll hop on my motorcycle and I'll ride loud and proud to Capitol Hill and say, "What the fuck is wrong with you people?"
That's the problem, though. They tried doing an old school thing in New York.
Didn't work. Of course.
I think it was 5 people showed up. But you also have to think, how many people actually know that they know what's going on with the FDA and the laws and everything that's going on?
Something to know.
Kind of definitely off subject here, but how long have we been live so far, Spike?
I see 101 minutes. So, hour and 10, yeah.
About an hour and 40.
Or, yeah, sorry.
You know, the length of
It's been a long day for me.
But, you know, I mean, it boils down to the people. And YouTube is just a small fraction, not even a quarter of the vapors in the U.S. So, you know, the government has it on us. I mean, they do. They have all these truth campaigns and shit going out about vaping and stuff. But let's be honest. History repeats itself. They did the same thing against alcohol. They put alcohol into a prohibition state for a while. Then they figured out, oh, well, we can make money with this alcohol, so they took it out of prohibition and started taxing it and stuff and making money. Cigarettes. They were putting truth campaigns out for cigarettes. You know, drugs, marijuana. You know, who remembers this, you know, them putting an egg in a frying pan and saying, this is your brain on drugs?
Oh, yeah.
I just remember the funny bit from Freddy's dad.
It's going the same way. And it's just because it's getting more and more and hitting the market more and more, and it's taking money out of the pockets. Because let's be honest, okay, Altria, they bought in 35% of Juul. Now everybody says, oh well, they bought Juul. No. In order to buy out Juul, you have to be over 50% stakeholder in Juul. Just like any other company.
Right.
They bought into Juul, and before they did it, they took down all their stuff, the ones that they sold, the pack 10 or whatever it was. But they make juice. They have 11 different stores across the U.S. that sell their juice. But it's not advertised as Altria.
Of course not, because if it was advertised as Altria, nobody would buy it.
Yep. But now here's the deal. Because vaping, the reason they're trying to lump vaping in with smoking is because that, what the hell is it? That bill that got put forward to where states get so much from the tobacco industry. They get so much every month or so much every year into their budget from the tobacco.
I think it was like some sort of tobacco tax, I think.
Yeah. They're losing money on the tobacco side. But they're gaining their money that they're losing with the vape and the juice. But they don't have to claim that as tobacco. So Altria can make $50,000, say $50,000 a month on juice. That is not in their Tobacco Act. So they don't have to turn any of that money over to any of the states that are losing the money from the Tobacco Act because the tobacco sales are down. That's why they want to lump it in. Because once it gets lumped in with tobacco and smoking, then they can make them pay for that loss that the tobacco is getting, and the states are coming up in their budget negative because they budgeted so much, but they didn't get that.
You could argue that states don't see that happening, and that's why they're doing all these tax hikes by themselves on illegally.
Yep. That's why, and see, that's why the states that are doing it, that are trying to tax the juice so high, they're the states that are losing from what is it? LabWorks said the MSA agreement, I think it is. So, you know, I mean, will they ever take away juice? I don't think they will. Will they end up regulating it? And will it put some juice companies out of business because of the regulations and the costs of the regulations?
More than likely.
Yeah.
But they're not going to take it away.
It's probably going to go to probably $60 or 30 mil like it was when I first started.
Yeah, when I first started, 30 mil was $30.
Right? Yeah.
Somebody was talking last night that they ordered a mod, or was going to order a mod. Oh, Kelly was. But the company she was going to order it from will not ship to Indiana because Indiana has a law on the vape products being shipped in. So, you know, most companies can't ship to a consumer.
Yeah.
They can ship to shops, but they can't ship to a consumer. So what she was going to do was send it to Mitch, and then Mitch was going to send it out. But the taxes on it were so freaking high that it didn't make any sense to do it. Because she was paying almost as much in taxes as she was for the devices she was getting.
Jesus.
Which, okay, now that takes away from online sales, but that gives to the shop because the shop won't have to charge all that taxes for the shipping costs and stuff. Now, if they tax e-juice, are we going to see prices go up?
Oh, yeah.
You better believe it.
Well, in Washington going through like it was like first what? Like at first it was like a 95% tax increase, but then they took it down to 60.
Something like that. But see, here's another thing. Here's another thought for you. What does the FDA actually have power over?
Bananas.
She's not wrong, though.
Yeah.
Food and drug. That's it. That's all they have the power over.
And since nicotine's classified as a drug, they can regulate the juice.
They can regulate the juice because it is food-grade material. Your VG is food-grade material. Your PG is food-grade material. Your artificial flavorings are food-grade material.
If you ask the chick at Albany, it's a mon. Yeah.
Mike.
Sorry. I'm trying to be good, but damn it, it's hard.
You know what they can't? get and they can't stop or they can't regulate?
The devices.
Addies.
Addies, devices, none of that. The only people that can regulate the mods is the FCC. Because they deal with all of the electronics and shit. And since 90% of your mods all have chipsets in them, they can't FDA can't regulate none of that. Now, don't sit there and think that, oh, well, they can't regulate mods. Well, mods are going to be safe. This whole bill that they're trying to put through for the juices and shit, for one, won't take effect for about 3 to 4 years. Even if it does pass through, it's not going to take effect for about 3 or 4 years. Every bill is like that. Within that time, I guarantee you that there's backroom deals with FCC, figure it out how to do it all. And then once they get it all figured out on how to regulate the mods, regulate the juice, and they make their money on it, it's going to be all fine. The ones that are not going to be fine, and it sucks, are going to be the meth mods. Because you have no regulation, no safety protection, no nothing on most all your meth mods. Now you do have some meth mod styled that have chips in them, but your true mech mods, they're going to be the one to get hit. And the whole thing of putting it to T21, it's not going to stop it. Hell, it's not even going to put a dent in it. My first drink of alcohol was when I was 7 years old.
Well, because as I was thinking, that's why I've been so quiet for a while, is because I was thinking about the whole T21 thing. And I think it also can fall under because, like Missouri just went under T21. Now, most people know on this panel and that I talk to on a regular basis knows that I own a Polaris Razor side-by-side. Missouri as a state has banned the ability to drive those on public roads. However, states get the final say as far as their city limits. So maybe towns can still do the same when it comes to vapor products.
Here's the deal, and you can go with Jared on this, because Jared he brought this up one time, and he's true. Okay, you got your federal government to set federal laws. But the states can set their own laws and say, screw the federal government. Which is where Missouri has been at a lot on a lot of things, is they've kind of just said, screw you.
Right.
You do this. It's just like, okay, here's the other thing. Marijuana. Medical marijuana, personal use marijuana. There was a lawsuit because the federal government came into a state and shut down shops that were growing marijuana legally in that state. By the state laws, it was legal. But federal still considers marijuana as an illegal drug. But because the state says it's legal, they won the lawsuit and the federal government couldn't do nothing. They had to drop all the charges. It's just because of the federal government thinks that they can do everything they want and nobody can do nothing about it. It depends on the states on whether it can actually happen or not. Now, is it good for a state to fight against the federal government? No. On one point. But there's a yes in there too, because the state is standing up for what the laws are. The laws of their state. The laws of their cities. And standing up for the people that can't really afford to have that kind of say. Now, I could care less about T21, okay? I'll be 43 in August. I could care less about T21. It's not going to do anything. It's not going to stop anything. My thing is, in the military at 18 and go fight for your country, but you can't have a drink of beer, or now, if it goes federally, you can't legally have a cigarette or a vape or anything until you're 21. But you're able to go over there and put your life on the line and be shot at and, bombs thrown and everything else. But you have no way of kind of winding down. I think that's stupid.
I agree.
There should be a do that for the military. But military, they have rules on vaping. You can't vape on ships. And if you're sent overseas, I think there's a rule on what you can have to vape. Whether, it's a vape pen or, something like that. But I haven't really checked on them laws, but I know from other people that the military has a strict guideline for it. The problem that it is, and it's always going to be and always has been, if I want something, I'm going to figure out a way to get it. I don't care what age I am. Like I said, my first drink of alcohol was at the age of 7 years old. My first cigarette, 9. My first joint, 9. I'm going on 43, and I've been 12 years clean of the alcohol and 9 of the drugs. But my entire teen life was drug and alcohol and smoking. I mean, hell, I'd skip school and go to the bar that was half a block away from my school, and we'd go in the back door and we'd play pool and drink and smoke and do lines on the table and, until the bar opened. And then the rule was we just had to be in the back, we had to go into the back employee only, like the storage room and shit, if we wanted to have a drink or smoke or anything. Or we had to go out back outside to smoke or any of that. But it's the same thing. They tried the same shit with cigarettes and all that back then, and they got nowhere. They got somewhere. They figured out how to tax it and how to make money off of it, and then it just kind of disappeared. And that's how they do everything. I mean, they will attack things until they figure out that, oh, look, we can make this money off. And see, that's the problem with the U.S. We got all these studies from the U.K. that they have done. But the U.K. does not rely on tobacco and pharma to run their country. They would rather people be healthy than to be sick. Same way in Canada. Same way in a lot of other countries. They would rather their people be healthy in doing things, and they get their money other ways. They don't rely on pharma, and they don't rely on tobacco.
But all right, folks, I'm going to go ahead and end the show here. Been on for about 2 hours, which is a good enough time. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in. Thank everybody who came on the panel and chit-chatted for a bit, even though TKAT, for the, half of it's been drawing happy clouds on our mod. Kind of looks like that, like army green. But anyway, folks, thanks for tuning in. Does anybody have any final words for the chat on the panel?
Look out for my show coming soon in the next couple of weeks.
Joe?
This will be pretty by the end, at some point.
What about you, Joe?
Reviews, uses. I'm going to be getting into mods and stuff like that. So catch me on my YouTube channel, vapingjoe M. And you can also catch me in Truck and Show and every Sunday here on Monster Show.
Spike, what about you, brother?
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, right. I don't know. Just know what you're vaping. Know your battery safety. Yeah.
Well, folks, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you to everybody on the panel for coming on and chit-chatting. It's always a pleasure to have you all on. But, folks, thank you so much for watching. And as always, until next time, Monster Man Vapes and friends signing off.